Hey everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Saturday today and I'm here with a project for you, and I'm so happy because I just got a bing if you heard that I'm live on YouTube, because I think on Tuesday night my YouTube connection didn't work. So I did post the video, but for some reason it didn't go live on YouTube. But looks like it worked today. Technology always, I don't know, befuddles me. I don't know what's going on at times. All right, today I'm going to use the Textured Notes bundle, which is part of the Botanical Textures suite that is an online exclusive that you can get now in my online store. I love this suite. It's neutrals. It's kind of eclectic. There are two different designer series papers. One is all black and white, and the one I'm using today is all woven textures. It's called Woven Texture Designer Series paper. Fancy that. And I absolutely love the stamp set and dies that are part of this. The dies are all rectangles with all sorts of intricate stitching on them, which is so much fun. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping today, kind of collage. Hey, Amanda. We're going to do some splattering, just kind of a very earthy toned card for today. All right, I'm going to switch over and we'll get started. So this is the Textured Notes stamp set. So like I said, quite eclectic with some stems, some basket weave. This kind of looks like the top of a woven basket, and I love these sentiments. So the thank you I've used a lot, and then a little note of appreciation, and you are seriously the best. I love this one. And then these are the rectangle dies. So there are, I don't know how many there are. There are this many. Narrow one there. One goes in there, one goes in there. Oopsie. So look at all these. Can you see all the different stitching on them? Very intricate. So 2, 4, 6, 8, because there's this long, narrow one there. I love, love, love these dies. Okay, so that's the dies. I've got some embellishments that are part of the suite as well. They are called, what are they called? Neutral matte dots. They come in pecan pie, cream, black and white. Love those. You can always use neutral embellishments. Okay, I think that's it. I'm using some linen thread as well. So I've got my pieces, some of the pieces cut. So let me just show you. Let's bring this in. Show you a couple of the pieces. So these are two of the pieces of designer series paper. This is the Woven Textures designer series paper. The other one is all black and white, but this is the one. This one looks like burlap. This one looks like basket weave. And the other side is kind of like a linen. Hey Sherry, welcome. And then another kind of basket weave, very fancy basket weave, almost like herringbone. It's very cool. Okay, so we're going to use this. I've got a piece of early espresso cardstock that I have cut to 4 1/4 by 5. No, sorry, 4 1/4 by 11, scoring at 5 1/2. Let me get this right. So fold into the mountain or the raised line. All right, I cut this piece of designer series paper. I haven't quite decided which side I'm going to use, whether I'm going to use that kind of textured side or this one. And then I cut a piece, both of these, actually this one I cut, and you can't see it. I cut this one using the die, but because of the pattern on the designer series paper, I can feel it, but I can't see it. So we're going to use that piece. Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. My dies are always a mess, Amanda. So we'll see how I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Okay, and then I cut a piece of basic white. So this is the second largest and then the 4th largest die. So it's going to be a rectangle shaped card. Okay, so we're going to just do some stamping first. And I've got early espresso, pecan pie, and crumb cake. Let's get our stamps on some blocks. And I'm going to use this sentiment that says, a little note of appreciation. Okay. So we're going to do, like I said, kind of an eclectic, collage-y looking background. And then what was it? Okay, let's do this one again. Oh no, actually. I need a piece of paper. Where's my piece of grid paper that I had the other day? Well, here's a little scrap of paper. We'll use it. We're going to do some stamping off. All right, so I'm stamping off twice because I just want a little bit of a texture behind it. So like I said, hey Therese, welcome. Okay, so that's kind of my collage-y looking background. And then on another piece, I'm going to stamp this because I'm going to, if you guys follow me, you know I fussy cut. So we're going to fussy cut. Oh, actually, I want to stamp my sentiment as well out of early espresso. I'm going to just stamp it down here in the corner. There. All right, I think I have my stamping done. But before I stamp, I want to, there's my sketch from the other day. I'm going to do some splattering. I like to splatter, and I pulled out two Stampin' Blends, Crumb Cake and Pecan Pie. So to splatter with blends, use the brush end, so the line that's so wide. So if you haven't known this before, there are two lines on the blends. The brush end is the wide line, and then the fine tip end is the narrow line. I didn't know that for the longest time. And you can just take and gently, you don't want to ruin the tip of this, but just gently kind of brush it in. And I don't know, let's see if you can see the splatter if I do that. There you go. You can kind of see the splatter that I'm getting. And I'm going to do some more splatter in Crumb Cake. All right, so I've got my kind of collage-y looking background with my splatter. And then let's take them. So we've got these pieces cut out. And now let's take and fussy cut my So you don't have to be really fussy about it. I'm just going to kind of, to start with, go around kind of the outside edges of the, and I realized I stamped this actually on thick basic white cardstock. I'm wondering why it's feeling like it is to cut, but that's okay. Thick works too. So I'm using my hand that is holding the paper to do the steering as much as I can. Let's do this. Okay, so that you're steering the paper and not the scissors. It just makes fussy cutting so much easier. All right, and now I'm just going to kind of go into this section that I didn't go into as I was cutting. You can make it easier on yourself. Cut as much as you can to start with, and then you can kind of go back and cut the extra bits out. Okay, so we're going to use dimensionals to put this, to start to put this together. I have to pull a new sheet of dimensionals out. I'm almost done. get every last piece. It's like I've won a game. I don't know. I play a game with myself to make sure that, or to see that I can use up all of the pieces of dimensionals. Okay, so we're gonna put that like that, and then get our liquid glue. Lots of texture. And I think I have this not very straight. Let's see if I can get this straight on there. That's a little better. Can't see properly. All right, let's use dimensionals on that as well. I do have another pack here. But before we put this on, I'm going to put some linen thread. If I can find it, here we go. So linen thread, I love linen thread. I was so thrilled that it's still in the annual catalog. It's one of my favorite things to use, especially when we have this kind of, you know, natural looking card. I love it for masculine cards as well. All right, I'm just going to wrap it around my hand 2 or 3 times, holding the ends under my finger. I take those and then pinch together. This is the 2 ends are underneath, and then I use just a little bit of Stampin' Seal. Oopsie. Get it going. I don't use my Stampin' Seal much, so it tends to want to hide. There we go. Just a little bit of Stampin' Seal, and then we'll put that down. And now we can put our cutout stem on top of it. I got glue on my fingers and can't get my dimensional backings off. All right, so the end pops up like that. Just press it down in the middle. There we go. And that's some, you can fuss with that, and then we'll glue this on. That's right way. Definitely an earthy tone card. Okay, so I stamped my sentiment, so I'm just going to take, and rather than fussy cut, I stamped this along the edge so that I could intentionally just cut it out into a rectangle, if I can get it straight, like that. Part of my secret about fussy cutting, everybody goes, oh, fussy cutting again. Part of my reason for fussy cutting, especially sentiments, is it's much easier, in my opinion, to, let's see, I think I have to, nope, I thought I was going to have to double dimensional, but I'm not. It's a lot easier to stamp and then cut out than I find to stamp straight on my piece of cardstock. So I've got a dimensional on one end and a little bit of glue on the other end. It wasn't such a little bit, but I want the dimensional to be down there. Ooh, quite pretty card. Definitely on the masculine side. All right, and then let's use some of these neutral matte dots that are part of the suite. And I'm going to use the pecan pie ones because I want to kind of change up the color a little bit. So let's take 2 sizes like that. All right, and now I still need something on the inside of my card. So I've got a piece of basic white that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of splatter. Well, I was going to try and do a little bit of splatter down in the bottom of my card. That didn't work out so well, but that's okay. We will stamp this down on the bottom. I have found that some blends work better for splattering than others. There are some that I haven't been so successful with, but most of them work. It works really well. And that goes on the inside. All right, there we go. My very earthy tone card. I think it's really pretty. I love neutrals, and so for me, this is kind of right up my alley. And I love linen threads, so there we go. Easy card to make. Those textured notes dies are absolutely amazing. So if you haven't checked them out in the online exclusive, you're going to want to take a look at them because they are gorgeous. And the paper, the Botanical Textures paper, I think that's what it's called, is black and white, and it's just so stunning. So I think, Mandy, you might have got one of my swap cards at On Stage, maybe. I can't remember whether I gave you a swap card or something else. But anyway, I did it for my swap cards at On Stage. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now, I will be live again tomorrow at 12 noon, so come join me then. We'll make another project.